Okay, everyone, welcome to lesson 16. This is for Monday, 420. This has to do with applying the properties of operations to multiply and divide rational numbers. Remember, properties of operations we talked about in class when it had to do with properties of addition. In this case, we'll be talking about properties of like the commutative property and the associative property of multiplication. They're basically the same. So A times B is the same thing as B times A. That will be the commutative property that it has to do with moving the factors around and it doesn't change the answer. Okay, and the associative property, of course, has to do with associations with groupings. So A times B times C is the same thing as A times B times C. So you can change the groupings and it will be the same answer, similar to the addition properties that we saw in class. We're working with rules of integers because they have positive and negative signs. Remember that a positive times a positive equals a positive, positive times negative equals a negative, negative times negative equals a positive, and negative times a positive equals a negative. One way to remember is that when the signs are the same, they are going to be positive. Different signs, you have negative numbers with different signs. So just something to maybe you can use to remember. Now solving these problems, I could do it in different ways. One of the easiest way to use will be to do the order of operations, which says that either multiplication or addition, we do it from left to right. So when it comes to just multiplication right here, we do from left to right because everything is multiplication. I could do left to right. So doing it left to right means I have to do this, just go from here to here. Negative 6 times 2, that will be a negative 12. That looks like an X. I'm going to change it to multiplication sign like this, times negative 2 times negative 5 times negative 3. Okay, so from left to right, this is positive 24 times negative 5 times negative 3. Left to right, positive and a negative, it gives me a negative number. 5 times 4 is 20, carry my 2, 10 plus 2 is 12. That will be 120, that takes care of those 2, times negative 3. When I multiply a negative times a negative, I'll get a positive, and 3 times 120 will be 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3, and my answer will be 360, 360. And the answer, of course, is positive because this negative times a negative. Okay, so this is one way to do it. That we could also do it another way. Remember that I could also move numbers around. I can maybe multiply. I want to multiply these two and this negative 12, this negative 5 to get a positive 10. That way, when I multiply times 10, everything makes it easier for me. I also want to multiply this negative 3 times this, maybe negative 2, the small numbers. Negative times a positive will be a negative 6 times negative 6. I can do that. So as you can see, I'm keeping myself organized. I'm crossing out the numbers that I already multiplied. Then I have at the end a negative 6 also. So as you can see, this is negative. I left myself a negative times a negative because I wanted to have this negative times negative will be positive 36, and I left this 10 like this because 10 times 36 will be 360. We practice how to multiply with powers of 10. So that was really simple. So moving numbers around, it helps me by creating shortcuts for me to be able to solve these problems in an easier way. Okay, so to answer this question, what types of strategies were used to evaluate the expressions? Well, the first one I used was it's called order of operations. I think that everybody should use that. And I also used order of operations. And I also used the commutative property of multiplication. As you can see, I got the same answer. Okay, so to answer the following question, can you identify the benefits of choosing one strategy versus the other? Well, just to talk about the order of operations. Order of operations, this one is you make less mistakes. Because you have to do it from right to left. I'm sorry, left to right. You have to do it from left to right. And it has to be done in order. So this one has to do with organization, and that's what's really good about this. Now for the using commutative property, the commutative property, this one's allowing you to maybe this one's allowing you to create shortcuts. Which make things easier sometimes, right? So that makes me do less work sometimes, and I really like that. And so, what is the sign of the product, and how was the sign determined? Well, the product, remember, product that was 360. Sign is positive. How was it determined though? Well, we follow the rules. Integer rules, right? Like we said before, positive times a positive equals a positive. Negative times negative equals positive. Positive times negative equals negative. And negative times positive equals a negative. All right, so now it's time for you to try it. All right, try to do the work, and good luck, and we'll see you next time.